Hey fourth graders, I'm Mrs. Snyder. I'm super happy to have you in art this week. I know it's kind of a crazy week and also really exciting because we will be going back to school. So I'm making this video for those of you that are at home so that you can follow along. And if you follow along with the video on the day that you're home, then you will be all caught up and prepared for the end of the week when we're all back together on campus. So follow along with today's video. Remember that when you come to school, whatever day it is that you come, that you bring all of your art activities for the week with you. So make sure you bring that bag with all of the stuff that we're working on so that we can continue our project for the week. The kit that Mrs. Snyder gave you that some of these pictures might look familiar from if you've gone to kindergarten or first grade at Punahou. Miss Merritt would have given you this long cardboard piece that you created a weaving on. Also, I don't know if she had it back then, but now she has this big loom that lots of kids can be working on at the same time. Last year when you were in third grade, you were able to do something similar to this based off of what the Native Hawaiians did for weaving, which is the Ulana Lahala weaving, and you guys created your plates for your luau using that weaving technique. So that leads us to this year, fourth graders, and this year we're going to be making a connection between these two words, text. When we think of text, we're talking about maybe a book or even a painting or picture can be text, but it's something that we're looking at and it has words or it might tell a story. So text could be like a story. Same root word, the word is textile. You're looking at this picture and thinking that these are clothing. Textiles are like fabrics or cloth. Both of these things, text and textile, mean to weave. So that means that when we're telling a story, we're really weaving or creating something out of nothing or something out of words to tell the story. And so for textiles, we're using fibers to create a piece of clothing. So boys and girls, I really like this quote that says, "Stories are the threads that connect the world, and every weaving tells a story." So this week, your goal is going to be to tell a story about you and your life. And so boys and girls, you will notice that in your art kit, don't get it out yet, you have some of these things. From now on, I will not call it a plate anymore, but you have a loom, and your loom is circular this week. And it's actually a symbol. It represents like our lives, and thinking of like the middle or the beginning of our lives like a pebble in a pond that drops in and out and out and out, the ripples of our life, how they're connected to all the other things, all the other people and places and other things that happen in our lives. So we are going to be weaving a story using these fibers, the weft fibers that Mrs. Snyder gave you. Remember, don't get them out yet. You also can use your own weft fibers from home, meaning if you have other yarn that you have at your own house, you can use that for weaving this week. We're going to learn how to warp our loom, which means these spokes that go around the loom like wheels on a bicycle, we are going to learn how to put those across so that we can weave our story using the threads that Mrs. Snyder gave us. So right now, fourth graders, if you are at home, these are the things that you need to make sure that you have in front of you. You need to find that art kit that I gave you. It should be still in the bag. You are going to need a pair of scissors. Our goal is going to be to paint our loom today. So we're going to be making a beautiful background for our weaving story that we're going to put on top. So you need to set up a place to paint. I gave you watercolors, but if you have your own paints from home, you can also use those. So if you're going to be painting at home today with the watercolors, you're going to need a glass of water and a paper towel or napkin to be able to clean off your brush between colors. Remember, the brush is inside the kit. These things we're going to be needing later in the week, so I hope that you have them at home, and then I also hope that they come to school so that you can use them. Remember, you're not going to need it today, but you will need yarn. You will not need yarn. Mrs. Snyder gave you yarn, but if you have yarn at home that you want to use, you can gather that as well. But right now, remember, you're going to pause this video. I want you to set up a station where you can paint with a water glass, a paper towel, and your watercolor paints. I want you to grab your loom, which is your plate from the bag, and a pair of scissors, and I will show you what the next step is. The thing that you're going to need for today is your loom, which is your plate, and a pair of scissors. So make sure that you have that while you listen to this next set of directions. Boys and girls, I am in your Seesaw classroom for Art for Lam Yi, and I'm in the activities section. So the activities is the light bulb. Here is the activity that we have today. The instructions are here for you. Mrs. Snyder will speak them for you, but the other Mrs. Snyder is here to actually just walk you through the steps. So I'm going to show you these pictures first. So the first thing we're going to do today is we are going to be cutting the notches that Mrs. Snyder marked for you. There are 19 notches, and we want to cut each of those notches to the flat rim or edge of the plate. So I said that this is a yes cut because it's cut just to that flat part. This is an example of a no cut. We don't want the cuts to go down too deeply inside the plate because it will make our weaving a little weak when we do that tomorrow. So right now, boys and girls, I want you to use your scissors to cut those 19 notches around your plate. Pause this video. When you are done cutting your notches, press play again. Is for us to paint our loom. It's written right here what the directions are, and I'll show you a picture too. So it says paint your loom with concentric circles starting from the middle. Use the watercolors provided or your own paints. So what I mean by that, fourth graders, is concentric circles is just like that pebble in the pond that we were talking about. Starts in the middle and goes out all the way to the rim. It doesn't have to be a circle. You can start with any shape, or you can pretty much do any design on your loom. The whole point of painting our loom is just to provide a beautiful background for our weaving that's going to go over the top. So you can use your own paints at home. You can use the watercolors that Mrs. Snyder gave. You can add designs over the top using paint or Sharpie or any other tools that you have. You can kind of see that example here. This is your opportunity to be creative. All we're doing right now is painting our loom all the way out to the rim. So you can pause this video now, paint your loom all the way, and once you're done with that, start this video again to show how you're going to wrap up for the day. the end of art class today, you may have a loom that's finished being painted, or you may still be working. Your main goal is just to be done painting your loom by tomorrow, because you're going to have to bring it to school with you tomorrow when you come to campus. So you've noticed that I put the designs over the top, and I'm finished with my loom. The activity today, fourth graders, is if I get into Seesaw, under the Painting Your Loom activity, I'm going to click Add Response, touch my name. I'm going to take a photo. So remember, even if you don't get done today, it would be really great to just be able to put your photo onto Seesaw so that Mrs. Snyder can see that you did it, or at least you started to do it. Then you're going to hit the green check mark to upload. That's as far as we need to get today, fourth graders. Tomorrow it's going to be so important that you bring this loom to school, because tomorrow will be the day when we actually start. And that's it today, fourth graders. We're going to make sure that we bring our loom and all of the items in our art kit, all of the yarn, the paints that hopefully will be dry by the time I bring them to school tomorrow. I'm going to bring all of those things with me when I come to school tomorrow inside the bag so that I will be ready for our next step tomorrow. Remember, if you have any of your own yarn at home, you can also bring that with you. Maybe just cut some off or put the whole skein of yarn down inside your bag. So boys and girls, I hope you had a good first day, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow.